I'm going to read to you first before we do our practice. I always think of it as reading you a bedtime story, although it would be kind of early if we're sending you off to bed here this early. This is by the 13th master, so the founder of the Soto Zen lineage, Dogen. Has anybody heard of Dogen? Hmm. Um, and because tonight we are having a full moon, apparently, tonight is a full moon, I'm going to read you a passage from Dogen about the nature of the moon and awareness itself. So, what does he say here? And this is where Dogen himself speaks about enlightenment. He actually spoke about enlightenment frequently, um, but not perhaps in any kind of a sort of a grandiose sense, but basically the heart of Zen practice is just encountering the ubiquitously present enlightenment that is always there. This is what for him Zazen was all about. It was just about coming into that eternal present and directly recognizing the underlying nature of mind. So that said, he pulls on some of those threads of some of the great masters that we also hear in Tibetan Buddhism who liken awareness and enlightenment to be very much like the moon reflected in water, as is mind itself. So here's what he tells us. Enlightenment is like the moon reflected on the water. The moon does not get wet, nor is the water broken. Although its light is wide and great, the moon is reflected even in a puddle an inch wide. The whole moon and the entire sky are reflected in dewdrops on the grass, or even in one drop of water. Enlightenment does not divide you, just as the moon does not break the water. You cannot hinder enlightenment, just as a drop of water does not hinder the moon in the sky. The depth of the drop, in fact, is the height of the moon. Each reflection, however long or short its duration, manifests the vastness of the dewdrop and realizes the limitlessness of the moonlight in the night sky. I'm going to reread this last line. I just want to savor it for a moment. Each reflection, however long or short its duration, manifests the vastness of the dewdrop and realizes the limitlessness of the moonlight in the night sky. Yeah. So part of my agenda for giving you a kind of mysterious reading is if you didn't have any questions to ask tonight, we do need some content. So maybe I picked these things to sort of spur the seeds of some questions. Thank you, Austin. Okay. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and get the bells up and we'll do some practice. Um, we'll just basically do a mindfulness practice focused on a practice. Well, certainly in Tibetan Buddhism, there's this notion of meditating on the heart as being like a full moon disk, which is very much in accord with the full moon tonight. Um, so we can just practice on the heart as being clear and full and also very much at ease, very much calm in the velvety night sky. Interestingly, another fact um, is that apparently the planets are preparing to align. I think, what is it, six of the main planetary bodies. I have this really fun app that people who know me well probably feel some irritation that when I'm outside at night. It's called Skyview, and I'm often looking up and seeing Jupiter. Usually it's Jupiter, but it also has sort of the formations of stars and tells you what they are. And I just now, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, the planets have moved. Here, I don't know if you can tell here. Let's see if I, besides my palm, we're seeing Mercury. No, this is, okay, here's Mars, Venus, and Mercury starting to line up. Saturn, if you can see, is right here. Anyway, Jupiter is still over there somewhere, but the process basically is happening. And so, just kind of pointing out, I'm not very well versed in astrology or what all of these things mean, but it's interesting how compelled I am to track it and also to think about the planets, each planet as being a transmitter of some kind, whether it's just like a physics thing or a reflector of the sunlight in various forms. But maybe that's a question I will ask one of you is it fair to see these planets as transmitters of certain kinds of energy? So if no one else has a question, that's going to be my question, and I think I know who I'm going to ask. Right, Marie? Okay. But first we're going to practice. Um, Let me get my bells going here. And so just settle into a posture of just a natural posture. Keeping, if you're in a chair, just keeping your feet flat on the floor. Make sure you're not being hemmed in by a desk or anything. Um, your posture, you just want to kind of roll your shoulders up towards the ears and around the back. There's no need to pretend to be in any kind of meditation posture. The main thing is just to be natural in your body and let the posture within your body that you choose to adopt in meditation be a mirror of how you want your mind to basically settle. Yeah. So often, I mean, the body is just a wonderful example of what the mind can become, especially if it's upright and stable, at ease and natural. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and just settle in. So, as usual, I'll just get us going with a little guidance. And we'll also have some quiet. And it's nice to just pay attention gently to the space around the body. Just let your field of awareness just sense in a subtle way just the space around you, the air, the temperature of the air. I have a heater that is occasionally snapping and making little sounds in the pipes, but you may have a different set of sounds that come and go. These are wonderful mindfulness bells, whatever they are, even if they're annoying. Just indicating, oh, my senses are telling me I'm here and now. This is something that Master Dogen actually also discussed, is that the present moment is profoundly full. It is the most expansive place that we can possibly experience, is the present. Whereas everything else is in the mind and is narrow or more contracted. But let the present be this source of vast openness and awareness, being free to simply expand out. Whatever thought or feeling or sensation arises, remaining with this more expanded awareness that is the space out of which these experiences arise and into which they dissolve. Ever-changing mind, fully present awareness. Stable, upright body, soft breath in, freeing on the breath out, letting go. And relinquishing the doing, the trying, the striving, even any effort to meditate, just the whole project, if you will, of meditation, just let that go too. We're just abiding, just being open and present. That's it. That's everything. And the breath in, gently touching your inner space with a gentle in-breath, a round, full in-breath, breathing out. And it's interesting how we can be both still and awake and also feel the movement of the breath in and out all at once. And letting the breath now point you towards the heart area, the center of the chest, touching into this symbolic heart from the inside as you breathe in gently, finding that space inside, and visualizing what your breath is touching is the back of your heart in the form of a full moon. A fully formed moon disk. and just holding your attention here on the heart gently, or returning it if the mind keeps wandering to this image of the heart as a full moon. A bright full moon. Notice the calming, easing, settling quality of this moon against a dark sky. If you find that you're getting drowsy, if you're getting sleepy doing this, it's because this has a relaxing quality as opposed to meditating on the heart as a brilliant, bright morning sun, which is more energizing. But here, if we want to just hold attention on the heart as a full moon, let the lightness, the brightness of this moon also be energizing. One of the reports from one of the astronauts who actually walked on the moon that people don't know about being on the moon is that it is so bright to be on the moon's surface. There is such a bright, brilliant reflection of the sun that they actually couldn't see Earth, as opposed to a lot of the images and the movies and things that show the Earthrise. It's interesting. Anyway, this quality of a radiant moon, a brightness, it's a white light. Dogen tells us to simply see the entirety of the moon, even in a dewdrop. This is like having a fullness of awareness, spacious awareness, or enlightenment. No matter how granular and small something is or how vast it is the same spacious awareness, the same witness. If you find that there is still tension or you're striving to practice this visual of the heart moon, just drop it altogether, come back to breath, and find the simplicity in simply experiencing your heart as the full moon once more. and letting this heart now radiate. Let it shine, let it radiate love, warmth. In the way that the moon itself impacts oceans on this planet, on the earth, lakes, rivers, all kinds of processes. This is the truth of the moon and how it impacts our planet and ourselves, our bodies, our minds. So too can the heart impact those around us, the space around us. So gently, being intentional. What is my heart radiating? How might it impact each other here on our call, or others in our homes, or around us in our neighborhoods, and so on? What are the qualities that we would like to send into the world? So we often think of this body as a supporter for realization, for mind, for consciousness. And not only is this body itself mind and consciousness, but it too is this heart. It too is that which radiates, transmits. Part of the spiritual ecosystem of which all of us are a part. What a blessing. And if you are contemplating being a transmitter of wholesomeness or love or light through this radiant moon within the heart, we also can be receivers. We can be receptive. Without the sun, the moon would be totally dark. So this heart receiving also this brilliant radiance that permeates all life, receiving from each other that which we are freely giving away and receiving from each other. Can you sense the flow? Gently. Can you sense it from a place of stillness, of simplicity? The stars themselves hold so many secrets. And in this practice, we are opening to one of them. That in perfect openness and stillness, with spaciousness of mind, we are both receivers and transmitters. So I'm going to close our practice with a reading. You can just stay in this practice. This is by Thich Nhat Hanh on the shape of water. This water's shape is round or square, according to whatever container that holds it. In the spring warmth, it is liquid. In the winter cold, it is icy. When its path is open, it flows. When its path is obstructed, it stands still. How vast it is, yet its source can be so small that it is difficult to find. How wonderful it is in its streams which flow endlessly. In the jade rivulets, the body of the dragon king remains. In the deep pond, water holds the bright halo of the autumn moon. On the willow branch, it becomes the clear, fresh balm of compassion. Only one drop of water of compassion is needed, and the 10 directions all become purified.